Hello, everybody. To mark Carers Week, I wanted to introduce you all to the incredible Hitesh Daudia. Like so many millions of carers across the UK, Hitesh is the primary carer for his mum because she's sadly no longer able to look after herself. Hitesh's mum is in her late 80s. She has chronic kidney disease, she has osteoarthritis, and she has short-term memory loss. So Hitesh, thank you so much for taking the time to share your story with me today, especially because it's Carers Week. And I just want to know why Carers Week is so important, especially to carers like yourself. So just thank you so much for taking the time.
Oh, thank you, Holly. It's a pleasure and honour to meet you as well, face to face. And, I'm really happy to be able to help and share my knowledge with other carers as well. So for me, I suppose it all comes down to, your friends, your family, your community. They all know what you do as a carer, or they seem to know what you do as a carer. But it goes a lot more deeper than that. We work 365 days of the year. It's another job on top of all the other responsibilities that we have to manage. And at the end of the day, all carers want is to have a stress-free life, and they really want to have more control and happiness in their world, so they're not feeling stressed out, lonely, and thinking they're going to go down that mental health slope, and then it's really difficult to get back out of as well. And they could go into sort of depression and things like this. So for me, it's a mixture of all of that.
Well, what I love about Carers UK is, as you say, it's so difficult being a carer, because I think a lot of the time people feel like they're the only ones having to do it. They feel isolated. And what I love about this week especially is it's bringing lots of people together to know they're not alone. And the theme of this Carers Week is like visible and valued. And I just want to know, what do you think visible and valued means to you as a carer?
For me, being visible and valued as a carer, if I look back at what my mum has done for me over the years, and she sacrificed her life quite a lot in terms of coming to this country, helping us to have a better lifestyle for the children. And now it's time for me to give back to my mum through love, compassion, understanding, and just to be there for her, and just to support her in that way. So for me, that's personally what it means in terms of being visible and cared, and also being visible by your peer group. People, like I said earlier, people know what you do, but they don't really know how you feel. And I think that's the crux of it, that sometimes carers just want to have a chat with someone just to, vent or let off some steam. And it just helps them to, I suppose, have a less stress-free sort of life. Yeah.
And have you found other people to talk to who are in similar situations?
Yeah, I mean, I've gone on different forums, and I've connected with different forums, and Carers UK have Carer for a Cuppa. I've been on their sites. I do a Facebook Live every Thursday at 8 o'clock to help other carers and give them tips with technology. That's the niche that I'm going down, is to help carers with using technology to help them with their caring role. I think unless you're in that person's shoes, you don't completely understand what's going on in their mind and in their heart. Yeah.
Do you think we recognise carers enough as a society? And do you think Carers Week is that opportunity to sort of recognise carers' contribution?
I think this is a great opportunity because carers feel like they're not heard, and it's a chance for them to actually connect with other carers, take part in other activities that are happening, and it gives them a sense of community and being in a place where people actually understand them. It's not about what they do on a day-to-day basis in terms of the chores and the tasks, but it's more about the mindset of a carer and how they're feeling. And to me, that's a really big part, because I think mindset is probably 80% of the battle in terms of how you handle your day as a carer.
Yeah, I think it's the battle of how you handle your day always, isn't it? And if you could try everything to try and get that positive mindset and just to I know it's so difficult in most of the time to sort of see the positives of any situation, especially ones where you're caring for a loved one that can't look after themselves anymore. It's difficult, and as you say, just sort of getting those tips from other people. I think you're right. It's so important.
I mean, there's different levels of caring that a stage that someone's parents will be at, and that's where when you go into the forums, that's when you connect and you think to yourself, wow, I didn't even know that this could even happen to someone. And that's to come later on for you. If you're a carer, you're not at that stage, and it really makes people open their eyes up that are carers to say, okay, I need to plan for the future a little bit, in terms of how I'm going to handle this situation for the future. Yeah.
Before the pandemic, were you seeing people in person to catch up with other carers, or is this something that you've just been able to do now because of the pandemic? You're communicating with more people online.
Yeah, no, I used to have a cycling group that I used to connect with people, and we used to go cycling for 3 or 4 hours, and I used to love that, and that used to give me a sense of freedom. I could just switch off and not think about anything, and just those little things, it makes you appreciate once it's taken away, the value of it, really. So yeah.
And also that importance when you're a carer of just trying to find that time to care for yourself. Otherwise I think you get that serious burnout situation where you just can't keep going. Whereas if you can just find those few hours a week, whatever it is that you find is needed to look after yourself, that is just so vital to make you be the sort of best carer that you can be.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that. I think self-care is so important, and I think a lot of people realize that during the pandemic, that because all of a sudden the respite time that they had before was taken away, and it was like it's a 24/7 365-day job, as I mentioned earlier, that they have to keep the person entertained. They have to feed them. They have to do a lot of extra other duties that they weren't prepared for. And sometimes there's no material out there, or it's very difficult to find this material out there to say, okay, how do you do this, or what should I do now? And just having contact with other groups, it gives you an idea to say, okay, maybe I try this, and maybe I give this a shot. I do caring very differently from other carers. I have a morning and evening routine for me and my mum. So we might do some exercise. We might do a little bit of meditation. I'll have I make a smoothie for her. Maybe sometimes I'll have lemon, hot water, and ginger in hot water just to help the digestive system. We practice the Ho'oponopono process. It's a Hawaiian healing system, and you just say 4 phrases like I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And I've been saying that since my dad passed away, which was 7 years ago, with my mum. And these 4 phrases just make such a difference. I mean, it's so simplistic, yeah. And I think a lot of people, when things are so simple, they dismiss them because they feel like there's no point in doing them. What benefit is it going to have for you? But there's lots of material out there online when people can do the research on what it means. But I live by that. And, for my mum, I get her to write in her gratitude journal in the evening. And so we say what we're thankful for. And just that little simple act of taking things out of your mind and putting them onto paper becomes physical. So you're not going to bed thinking about this problem that you've got. You've taken it down and you've put it on a piece of paper, and it just lightens the load for you. That's the way I look at it.
You're warming my heart with everything you're saying. It just all just sounds so perfect, and yeah, I think hopefully lots of people can listen to your tips and tricks and make their days better each day. You must be marking Carers Week, are you? Is there anything that you'll be doing to sort of highlight the importance of carers and the week ahead?
I'll be launching a mini course and a 5-day experience for family carers. I won't be doing them at the same time, though. I can't handle that much stress. And it's basically to help them create a more balanced lifestyle in achieving more by doing less. All the things that I've learned over the years, I'm going to put my knowledge and experience into this, and hopefully they can pick up something nice for them and create a better day for them as well.
Hitesh, I don't know how you find the time. You're absolutely wonderful, and thank you today for finding the time to talk to me, because it's just so great to hear from carers. It's somebody like you who has now ended up having to dedicate your life to your mum, but to just let everybody out there know that they're not alone, because there's many people, many people who are like you doing the same. So thank you very much for sharing your story with us.
Oh, thank you so much, Holly. I just want to, if you don't mind, I'd just like to introduce you to a woman who's been my inspiration. She's been there through thick and thin, you know, the good days, the bad days. She's prepped me up, and she's someone I'm really honoured and privileged to be her son. So I just want to introduce you to my mum, if you don't mind.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
just going to get up.
shivers down my spine. Hello.
Hello, love.
Hello.
I love you.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
This is Andrew. This is my mum, Holly. So she's, like I said, she's been my inspiration. She's 80 years young. That's the way I look at it.
Oh, fantastic. And do you guys live together?
Yeah, since my dad passed away, I've been like looking after her, and yeah, we sort of, the dynamics is sometimes up and down, but it, you know, you've got to roll with the punches. And I've created a system for myself, and that's what I want to share with other carers, how to get more time back in their life.
Yeah, no, so important. Self-care, it's just really important, even if it's just 5 minutes a day. It's just finding that time for you. And I know that's exceptionally hard when you're looking after someone, but gosh, you're right, 80 years young, you look so young. Both of you do. What's the rest of your plans for today?
She was just putting out some clothes on the washing line, and she likes sitting in the sun, and so like we've planted some sunflowers in the garden together.
Yeah.
We've planted some sunflowers in the garden together, and hopefully they've shot up about this much.
So lovely to meet you both. Thank
I
you.
really enjoyed chatting to you, Holly. It's been a privilege really to be able to chat to you, and I look at the wonderful things you know Virgin does. And you know, I'd love one day to go up into space, but I don't know when that will be. So.
Hopefully in the not too distant future. But yeah, thank you, and just yeah, well done for what you're doing for your mum. Hopefully I will do the same one day for mine. I'm sure. I mean, of course I will.
You will definitely, 100%. It all comes from the heart at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. Of course I will. All right. Well, lots of love, and have a great rest of your day.
All right. Thank you
Bye.
so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Love you.
Bye bye.